Jackson stepped into the kitchen, the heat slapping him like a punishment. The man who once signed million-dollar contracts now stood in a grease-stained apron, his polished suits buried in another life. Metal clashed against metal, pans hissed with oil. Voices barked for orders. Nobody here knew that the newcomer at the grill was a CEO. Worth more than $40 million. Across the room, she appeared. Ivy balanced 4 heavy trays as if gravity had forgotten. Horror. Sweat ran down her temples, but her smile never faltered. She moved like the entire place depended on her. And maybe it did. Jackson's eyes caught the payroll sheet pinned by the clock. Ivy Martinez, part-time. 18 hours a week. His mind stuttered. He had seen her every day. Open to close more than 80 hours in just 1 week. The ink on that paper was a lie, bold and cruel. One woman was holding an empire together while being erased on paper. Why? How could a system reduce a life like hers to a handful of hours? If you're still here, tell me where you're listening from. Drop your flag in the comments and let's uncover the rest of Ivy's story together. The first real glimpse of Ivy came when the shouting started. A young bus boy dropped a tray of glasses. The crash scattering shards across the floor. The manager's voice cracked through the air. Sharp and humiliating. The boy froze his hands, trembling eyes, darting toward the door as if escape was the only option. But Ivy was already there. She bent low, sweeping glass into her apron, shielding the boy from the storm of words. "It's all right," she whispered, her tone steady, protective. The boy straightened under her calm as if her quiet presence alone rebuilt his courage. Moments later, she moved on. Cloth in hand, wiping tables with a speed that seemed impossible. What 3 workers would take 15 minutes to clear, Ivy finished in 5. She did it without complaint, without pause. Her motions smooth, practiced, tireless. A strand of hair loosened, dusted with flour from the kitchen, but the smile never slipped from her face. Jackson tried to keep up, fumbling with plates, misplacing silverware. His clumsy movements betrayed him the awkward hands of a man who had never done this kind of work. Ivy noticed, but instead of rolling her eyes, she leaned in gently, guiding his grip on the tray, speaking to him the way an older sister might to a younger brother who needed encouragement. Then came the customer. A man in a wrinkled shirt, temper short, slammed his napkin to the table, demanding faster service. Ivy bowed slightly, voice low and kind. "Of course, sir. Thank you for waiting." No flicker of irritation crossed her face. She absorbed the insult, carried it with grace, and walked away as though nothing had been thrown at her at all. Jackson watched in silence. In every corner, in every moment of chaos, Ivy appeared to hold the place together. Not the manager barking orders, not the owners collecting profits. It was her. She was the pulse of the room, the quiet current that kept everything moving. 4. Jackson, the thought surfaced sharp and undeniable. He had never seen an employee like her before. In the lull between rushes, Ivy stole a moment in the corner of the kitchen. Her dinner was nothing more than a piece of bread gone stiff, edges hard as stone. She didn't sit. She stood back against the wall, eyes never